Thank you so much, Vincent, for making time to sit down with us.
It's a pleasure.
To get to know you better.
Yes.
Can you kindly tell us who is Vincent Tsvangirai?
Vincent Tsvangirai is the fifth born in between Susan and Morgan Tsvangirai. I'm a twin with Millicent Tsvangirai. I'm very young. I'm 24 years old, which in this coming election, if hopefully things go our way, I would then be the youngest MP in this crop of MPs that just went in right now. So Vincent is a very chilled, very relaxed character. I'm a very simple person. I don't like overcomplicating things. I like to do my things in simple, precise order. So that's who Vincent is. Yeah, that's pretty much what I can tell you about Vincent. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Vincent, can you also tell us what prompted you to venture into politics?
Yes. Well, as you know that the Tsvangirai family is a political family for a very long time now. Me myself, I'm an artist by trade. I'm a media person. I do film, I do photography. That's my background. So politics was one of those things that it's something I wanted to venture into at a later stage, but not really right now. But to enter politics, I was going to come in with more of the aspect of coming in to change things in the media industry. But following the death of my sister on just last month, I think I had about a week of just reflection, just thinking about everything we did during the campaign, all the work that we did and all that stuff. So it was a heavy burden on me. I had sleepless nights just thinking of all the plans that she had for Glenview South. Some she was starting to implement, some were in the pipelines to be implemented. So from that, I just decided, let me hear what the people of Glenview have to say. So I went down to the grassroots and I asked them, this is what I'm thinking. Will people accept me there? Because at the end of the day, you also want to hear would the people also take you in. So hearing what the structures had to say, them accepting me, I decided, no, let me run. People wanted it to be given, but then I said, no, we have to do it the right way, the democratic way, and go to a primary so that people can choose their leader. So that was what we exercised just about 2 weeks ago. So that's what prompted me to get into this world. Yeah.
How do you respond to allegations that the Glenview South seat is a seat that has been reserved for Tsvangirai family in a bid also to protect or to keep the Tsvangirai legacy within the MDC party?
Yes. No, they're very valid points of view from people. I can understand where people are coming from when they say that. Following Vimbai's death and then now me coming in, people would then think that it's Tsvangirai is trying to make a dynasty out of this thing. I mean, you know that in 2017 we also had the same issues with the Mugabe family, where people thought that this was going to be a dynasty as well. So there's a history of it. I personally, I'm not looking into it being a dynasty. I did request for the seat to be contested, that we must go through the right channels for these things to be done. Because I'm a Tsvangirai, it does not, I hope people can understand that we are a family that wants better things for Zimbabwe. And if other people, even in my family, decide to enter politics, we hope that people will not look at it as a dynasty. It's just what people decide that I want to enter politics. Though it's one name that seems to be coming up all the time. So I don't think it's a dynasty. It's just one person's passion to try and serve their country, serve a constituency, serve a community. So that's my dream, that's my hopes, those are my aspirations. And I hope people can understand that I'm not trying to prompt a dynasty here. It's just a passion that I have to help people.
Okay, thank you so much. How do you feel after succeeding in the party primary elections, knowing that this seat was this seat was linked to the likes of Fatah Emaere,
Yes.
the likes of Paul Mazur. How do you feel as a youngster having landed this
seat?
succeeded? Yes.
It's scary, to be honest, because as a young person, there's a lot of eyes that are on you, and also being a Tsvangirai, there's a lot more eyes on you with this seat. When it comes to the likes of Organ Edu Ramadzore, Muzukuru Hangu, so when we had our discussions, I was very happy to see that he was supporting me in the seat. So it shows that as a party we're united. When we say we're going to primaries, when we say we're making decisions, at the end of the day we're one family. But then now it puts a lot of stress on you, it puts a lot of pressure on you to now deliver now. So I'm scared that the what can I call it, the pressure people are hoping that I would achieve, you know. It's a lot, but I hope I can meet people's desire that I'll have for this seat. Yeah.
So for the time that you have been working with the people of Glenview,
Yes.
and obviously taking from where Vimbai left,
Yes.
what are some of the major problems and that you think the people of Glenview South are facing?
Yes. Well, when I had done when Vimbai was running for the seat and when she was an MP, we had some discussions with some of the people in Glenview over some of the problems that the people are facing in the constituency, in the community. And also when I had decided to run for the seat, I did the same thing. I went back to the people and asked them what are the problems that are in the community. And the key issues that I saw was that water was number one problem. If you go in, it's not just Glenview alone, it's most communities where you're seeing lines that are winding and winding on boreholes. Water is a very big problem, and water is a basic right for everyone, as you understand. Issues of electricity, I mean in Glenview there are now new stands that are now coming up and people don't have papers for those stands. So these are big problems that are there, and these are big problems that we hope we're going to tackle when we get in. The thing that I have told people is that we're not going to fix everything in one go. We're going to do things that are practical. We're going to take it step by step by step by step, because if we try and tackle everything at once, you then have problems of over-promising and under-delivering. So that's what I'm hoping to bring to Glenview, practical implementations of these things being fixed. So that's my hope, yes.
Okay, and obviously you've alluded to the problems, and what are some of short-term or long-term, say that you own this seat?
Yes.
What are some of the solutions that you have for Glenview South?
Well, the solutions that I have on the ground, like I had said, we are going in this thing doing practical things. The hope is that we can hopefully try and find ways to bring more modernization on some of the borehole systems that are there. As you know, some of these boreholes are those olden day, the pump ones, where people use physical means to pump water, and it's a very slow process. So now it creates problems of congestion on one single borehole. So we're hoping to at least make more of them electrically useful. So we bring solar systems on the borehole, maybe implement 10 pipes on them, things like that. So it at least alleviates the problems of congestion on some of these boreholes. And then maybe between each and every branches that we have in Glenview, in the ward sections, we can increase the number of boreholes that are there. And as well as creating some different water systems in the community. Electricity is a national problem, as you understand. I believe that it's sort of getting worse by the week. We're hoping to find ways that we can bring about power stations in the community. It's not going to be each and every household that's going to get power, but you know that when you don't have access to power regularly, people then are off communications, off their phones and things like that. So we're hoping to introduce power stations where people can charge these things. You know, if you can charge your phone, you're back on comms now. So it's very small little things that we want to try and do. But when you now add them all up, they'll create, it's a big impact. So that's the hope, yes.
the CDF funds that are being released currently by Parliament are not enough to tackle all the solutions that you are proffering to Glenview South. What are some of the other sources that you also incorporate to ensure that what you have said is a living reality?
Okay. Well, I'm hoping, it's not boasting in any way, shape, or form. But as you know, with the name that my father built up, I'm hoping to use whatever influence that name has generated to bring some solutions into Glenview. We're going to tackle some NGOs if we can. We're going to go and look at other countries if we can. I know my sister was chasing this project whereby from the constituency of Glenview, we go and look at other constituencies in like England, for example, in Germany, where they can see what they have in access and try and bring them to other communities where in countries that are lacking. Hospitals, school systems, things like that. You know that some of these countries have access of school equipment, boards, things like that, medical stationery. So we're hoping that these other constituencies overseas can help bring these things into other needed constituencies in Africa, in Zimbabwe, in Glenview especially. So that's the hope. I'm hoping to use the influence that my father had built up over the years in some of these countries to help bring this help to Glenview.
Thank you so much. And, Glenview was at the center of cholera outbreak. How are you going to take over from where we know Vimbai championed the fight against cholera? How are you going to also carry the burden that Vimbai had in terms of fighting cholera in Glenview?
Okay. No, cholera, as you know, or as far as I know, is a sanitation thing. If we don't have clean systems, we don't have clean water, things like that, it tends to expand out and then people get infected, what. So sanitation is not just my responsibility to fix alone. It's each and every person in Glenview's responsibility. The hope is that, look, in as much as people want MPs to fix the problems that are in the constituencies, the people in the constituency also have to realize it's also their responsibility as well. So my hope is that we can spread the message around that, look, it's your responsibility to make sure your environment is clean. I like the initiative of the Friday cleanup campaign. It's a very good initiative, but it's not just an initiative that's needed on a Friday alone. This is a daily thing where people need to clean their environment. You tend to see that if you clean on a Friday, by tomorrow, Shinayatozok. So now people need to be responsible for their own environment. There are sections in Glenview where people use them as dumping sites. That's not good. We need to bring bins into these sections where we say this is a landfill area. There are bins that are available, and that's what I'm hoping to introduce. That we're all, each and every one of us, is responsible for our environment.
Given the past voting trends, chances are high that you will be the MP for Glenview South. And we know that in Glenview South there are also some members of the constituency who do not belong to the MDC family. How are you going to ensure inclusivity among everyone as an MP?
Well, I'm not going, if things go our way, and I believe they will, I will not just be an MP for MDC Glenview. I'm an MP for all people of Glenview. The discussions I had with the structures in Glenview for MDC, I told them that when I get in, I'm going to bring everyone on board. And this is a consensus that we had amongst ourselves as candidates for the by-election in one of our committee meetings at ZEC, is that as candidates we need to come together and also be seen that though we are opponents in this race, at the end of the day we are doing this for the people of Glenview. No matter who they choose come the election, we still need to show unity. So I think we reached quite a good consensus in that meeting. And I think you'll see that as we're going forward with other candidates. We're going to walk hand in hand and say, I'm bringing this, I hope you can vote for me, but at the end of the day, we're one community, we're one people. And that's the same thing I would say also on a national base, is that though elections, it's a turbulent time. We need to come together as Zimbabweans at the end of the day after these elections, no matter what the outcome is. In Glenview, most especially, we do have problems of division, but I've approached even Zanu-PF youths in Glenview, myself personally, and I've said after the election, even during the election, I'm hoping that we can walk hand in hand and show that Glenview is a different constituency. We can show it as an example of how we want our elections to be run. It's a very simple issue to fix if people are willing to work on it. I don't think people want to forever be in each other's spaces, being problems and fighting and all of that. It's a very tiring process. So unity is a very important issue to me. Yeah.
Just the final question is, how are you going to ensure that the Tsvangirai name, Tsvangirai legacy is kept alive?
Well, I don't think it'll die per se. I appreciate this thing that people always say legacy, but I don't think the work my father did, I think it will echo on for generations to come. Because if you remember the time we're in, 2007, 2008, was a very traumatic time for a lot of people. Today I still see a lot of the implications of what happened at that time. You see people who have cut off arms, cut off legs, people who have post-traumatic stresses from those times. So the work my father did to alleviate people's problems post that election, I think it's something that can be commended in saying that he did try his best for his people. Though he may have not reached where he wanted to reach, I think he did the best he could for his country. And I think people appreciate that. So I'm sure people will definitely remember him for generations to come. So I think he did enough for himself. I'm hoping to continue on from where he had left off. My legacy, or how I'm going to come into this election, is I'm going to be as honest as I can, and I'm an honest person in general, and I don't think politics will change me. I'm very blunt, I'm very honest, I'm very direct. A lot of people will try and change me, but I'm Vincent at the end of the day, and I'm going to be that for the remainder of my days. So that's the best way I can serve my father's legacy, I think, to be honest. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
No, thank you, my brother.